Then you want to start down?
Ready? Before we turn to our candidates, we had a couple of questions about terms of office. And the mayor's term, if I've got this correct now, is 4 years. Joe? Well, I told me one of them was 4. I'm getting there, okay? And three of the candidates here are running for a 2-year term, unexpired 2-year term. Mr. McTurk. McIntyre, third, Rick Purpose. Okay, and Sylvia Pat. Okay. So anyway, when you need, you can get a sheet that's out there from the Board of Voters that has the candidate list. So if you're still confused. Okay, sorry. You ready?
All right. All right, we'll go ahead and get into the Board of Commissioners Forum. We're going to start with opening statements, but before we do that, I just want to remind our candidates, again, we have our lovely timekeepers right here to the front right. Oh, I don't remember my stage time. They're there. I would please ask y'all to keep checking periodically as you're giving your answer. I know it's tough when you're public speaking, but keep an eye on that because we have a lot of y'all. I want to make sure everyone has enough time to speak tonight. So that's number one. Number two, I've heard some feedback from some of the folks in the back of the room. They say that they're having trouble hearing us. So now would be the time to put on your teacher voice, mom and dad voice, loud voice, get passionate, let people know what you're saying. So yeah, just go ahead and aim for, I guess, the same class back there. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with opening statements. We're going to go in alphabetical order by last name, and then we're going to be shuffling up how we go through which candidates are which. So we won't always have Ms. Thomas at the end or anything like that. All right, so we will begin with Jim Bauer. We would like you to just briefly introduce yourself and tell us why serving on the Board of Commissioners is important to you. Mr. Bauer, you have 90 seconds.
This is my opinion. Greetings. My name is Jim Bauer. Before I retired as a member of both the NYPD and the FDNY. My wife and I moved down here to Holden Beach 3 years ago, and since then I have been disgusted and appalled with the way that this Board of Commissioners has been acting. Through their ramshackle, unsighted meanderings, we've managed to take the amount of money that was actually quite good. We now our debt service alone is $3.6 million, while our taxes are only 3.3. That's not all expenditure. That's just our debt service. Make you angry? It makes me angry. Who am I? And why should you vote for me? First of all, I have no conflicts of interest. I am fully retired. I can spend all the time because I don't have a company, I don't have another job, and I can work for you at this as a commissioner. We have only one home. This is our only place to be. Other than our family, this is our main concern. I'm going to work tirelessly to make a conversation, a permanent conversation between the homeowners and the Board of Commissioners. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that every single item that we need to talk about is not voted on by some money is ditched water kind of thing. And we're going to make sure that it's all taken care of with input from you and public comment here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer. We'll go ahead and move on to Paige Dyer. Paige, you have 90 seconds. Please just introduce yourself and tell us why you'd like to run the Board of Commissioners.
Good evening. My name is Paige Dyer. I'm originally from Virginia. My family started vacation in Hatteras when I was very little. And one of the reasons we started coming to Holden Beach was because of the commercialization that started happening in the hotels and the supermarkets and everything. So we found this beach and it was a nice little happy family beach. We started staying at the West End when there was about 5 houses. We came here every year with usually 4 or 5 families. Until we purchased land and built a house in 2016. I moved here permanently in 2020. As I was a property owner living here full time and started a local business, I started attending the Board of Commissioners meetings, and I decided that I had worked in a small town in Chester, South Carolina, with downtown development. When the textile industry left that small town, the shop owners, the buildings, the historical downtown on the hill business was losing, every business was closing, so I worked on the downtown development association for several years, working to try to get businesses back into that town and make it a lively town again, and I had a business there. So I felt I could add something to this area. It was a similar situation of a small town and being in a local business. I have the luxury of, I live on the street with a lot of people that live here full time, and I have a business where I can speak to people in their homes. And so I feel like I could contribute again over as I have the last few years.
Thank you, Ms. Dyer. Now we'll move on to Rick McIntyre. Please just introduce yourself and tell us why you're running for the Board of Commissioners. You have 90 seconds.
Thank you, good evening. My name is Rick McIntyre. I'm actually a retired public school superintendent. I actually have 46 years of public service to my credit. And 3 years before I moved my new home here at Holden Beach, I spent 15 years in Ozark, Alabama as their superintendent of schools and the associate superintendent in that same school system. That was preceded by a 30-year career in Northeast Tennessee. I held a variety of administrative positions, including school principal, supervisor of federal programs, and the like. During those years, especially the years I served as superintendent of schools, I think I developed some skills and had some experiences that can be helpful to the Board of Commissioners here at Holden Beach. Budget. I have overseen school system budgets in excess of $30 million on an annual basis. I have extensive experience working with architects and architectural firms in the construction and renovation of major school facilities. And finally, and this is probably the most fun, I have a lot of experience working with the groups of people, booster groups. If you've ever had a child, you understand maybe what I'm saying. These people are passionate. They want what's best for their school system. And I've worked with these kinds of groups and I'm pretty successful.
about the money, and that's gonna jack your taxes.
Thank you, sir. All right, next up is Maria Surprise. What's your assessment of the economic condition in Holden Beach?
Well, I think a lot of my colleagues here have said it pretty well. We're spending more than we're taking in. The good news is we've got great revenue coming in from our occupancy tax. People love coming here and spending money. So that's a good thing. My concern again is, we're raising taxes and what are we getting for our benefit? The town spent $5.2 million on commercial property with no clear plan for how we're going to recoup that cost and no clear benefit to the people who live here. And it's I don't see how that's sustainable, and I do think that if we go through and improve our planning, budgeting, and communicating processes with everybody, that we can continue to grow and make our town even better. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Surprise. Next up, we want to hear from Sylvia Pate. If you could just tell us what your plan for the economic condition of the town is.
Well, I believe in strategic planning. I think that, a lot of the times I see things come before the board, and I would just like to see it done in a more strategic way, if you will, instead of sometimes operating a little bit piecemeal. That would be my one criticism. I think if you're gonna look at the debt that we have and the revenue that we come in, you have to look at the total revenue picture. You can't just look at the tax rate. We do bring in a big portion of our revenue is taxes. Maria just alluded to that. You gotta look at the occupancy tax too. We're not really a resort area. And we do bring in $3 to $4 million a year in occupancy tax. So that goes into our budget as well to offset our expenses. So you have to look at the total picture, not just one side of the equation. Yes, we do have some debt, but I agree with Mr. Manager. I think the town's managing that very well. And I don't have any problem with supporting the pure project.
Thank you, Ms. Pate. And finally, we'll hear from Brian Murdoch. Why don't you tell us what your assessment of our economy is?
I think the town of Holden Beach is not part of the perfect world, as none of you sitting out there are part of the perfect world. The town of Holden Beach has had a ton of things thrown at it this budget year. So yes, it's not perfect this year, but I don't think we're in dire straits by any means. Contrary to what I heard, we did find a way to fund the pier and block Q. I don't even want to consider selling that property. This beach belongs to everybody from here to anybody that wants to come. That's where they go. That's part of the town. That's commercial property that's been here for decades, and I want to see it stay. But the taxes were raised for the salaries for our employees and the ADA mitigation that we're having to deal with. It was just a hat. It was just a hat. Just like you guys will have to adjust your budgets.
Thank you, Mr. Murdoch. All right, now we're going to move on to a discussion of ecology in Holden Beach. We'll go ahead and start with Maria Surprise. In your opinion, in what ways is the Board of Commissioners a good or not good steward of Holden Beach's environment?
That's an excellent question. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's a mixed bag. I think that our town does a great job of beach nourishment. I mean, that's our livelihood. We need to have a good beach. We've got the beach. I think it's never looked better. They do a great job with the sand fencing and COs and the turtle sanctuary. We're in a turtle sanctuary, and we've got this place good for everybody. The areas where I think we can, I don't like to see building envelopes increase on lots. I don't like to see more paved roads. And I really want to make sure that we have the cleanest water possible. So, if I'm elected, I want to make sure that we focus on having robust and redundant utilities that serve everybody in the community. And that we reduce maybe look at ways to get rid of some of the grass and put in some native plantings and help with stormwater. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Surprise. We'll go ahead and move over to Rick Parfus. Mr. Parfus, what should Holden Beach do to support the environment?
Well, to begin, I'd like to say I think the Board of Commissioners in the town have done a really good job with the COs program. The beach nourishments, the sand placements have been quite good. So I think we've done a good job today. again, my big concern is funding a major beach project in the future. We currently are looking at depending on FEMA funds, and we have to be declared a disaster to get that. Possibly the Corps of Engineers, Storm Damage Reduction Program, which has some cost sharing involved. The last option is borrowing like we did for the Central Reach project that essentially doubled the tax rate. So I think the town does a good job. My concern is making sure we have enough money to not be totally dependent on state and federal funds. So I'd like to see the beach fund increased, and it'll take some time to bring it up, but I'd like to see us have about half of a major beach nourishment in that fund. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. On to Brian Murdoch. Mr. Murdoch, what should Holden Beach do to support the environment?
I think everything within their power that Holden Beach can do tries to protect Holden Beach. And I think everybody in this room tries to protect Holden Beach and the environment. We're no longer parking cars on wetlands. We are allowing them to recover from the years of the parking that's been on most of the canal streets down through there. I'll just reiterate the COs and the beach renourishment the last couple of years of canal dredging. You know, that sand for the most part gets put back onto the beach. The inlet crossing, everything, the beach is detrimental to everybody. I think everybody in this room, or everybody in this county for that matter, it's something we have to protect. It has to be there. We have to be good stewards of that property.
Thank you, Mr. Murdoch. All right, next up is Sylvia Page. What should the commission do to protect the environment, Ms. Page?
Well, I don't have to really long, but everybody's already said, I think our beaches are in excellent shape. They look really good. And from the last storm that we had, this next are looking really good. There's a couple studies I think the town is having conducted currently to look at some of the stormwater issues. That is an issue that we really do need to focus on. Because you know, as well as I do, we have just a little rainstorm, what the boulevard looks like. And I'm a little concerned what it's going to look like once we get the paving done in the bike lanes. So I think that's an issue that we really have to wrap our arms around. So whatever solutions come back as recommendations for that, I think that the commissioners really need to look at that seriously and look at the resources to allocate for that. There's also a study currently being done to look at the water situation. Do we need another water tower? We have water pressure issues. Is there anything that we can do to address those issues? So I think that's really critical. And I think everybody does. I mean, from my perspective, it looks like everybody does try to protect our beach. I mean, that's our biggest asset. Let's face it. We have to.
Thank you, Ms. Page. All right, next up is Mr. Bauer. Mr. Bauer, what should the commission do to protect the environment?
They're doing a lousy job. I'm a right-wing or defensive guy. I really am. You'll notice that everybody else here has a bottle of plastic water. I don't drink out of it. I believe in the environment. I believe we need to keep it as clean as humanly possible. But let's look at Block Q and let's look at the bike lane, shall we? Because that's a great thing. The bike lane is going to add over a 1/4 square mile of paved surface to this beach. Now, if you care about the environment, you would care about that. But even if you don't care about the environment, where's the flood water going? That would be rendered all this permeable surface impermeable. The last meeting, the last commissioners meeting, somebody referenced about paving over the entirety of Block Q. Why? It's parking. Who cares if you park on gravel or not? So I think every island really has to take a look and say, what are we doing? Does it make sense? And should the environment take a hit for us? It doesn't make any sense.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer. Next up is Tracy Thomas. Ms. Thomas, what should the commission do to protect the environment?
I think Golden Beach has done a really good job with our beach. It started when we created that engineered beach and it's we've been getting money back from FEMA, but to me, it all comes back to the money. Because we took 1.3 million out of our savings, which should be in our beach renourishment fund. We just took another $250,000 out of our savings that should be in our beach renourishment fund. We should be increasing that fund because we are gonna need those money, all that money to really put the sand back on the beach when we have a hurricane. We've been very lucky. eventually we're gonna get a hurricane, it's gonna take the standoff, and if we don't have the money to replenish it. Even if FEMA reimburses us, we have to have the money first, and we'll be taking out more loans, which means more taxes.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Up next is Paige Dyer. Ms. Dyer, what should the commission do to protect the environment?
Well, I think the current commissioner, the previous commissioners, I think we've been working hard. One of my passions is green space. We did have a meeting, we had the meeting Tuesday. We went through the beach nourishment and they said the beach is in great shape. The staff of Holden Beach worked tirelessly to get an emergency dredge, and Lockwood Folly would have been closed right now if it wasn't for the work of our excellent staff working to get those emergency orders, get that boat here, because the boat that was supposed to be here was broken down. If that inlet would have been closed, it would have been disastrous. I think our biggest asset right now is all the land here. I don't know why seeing all the houses going up. I came here when there was 4 houses on the west end. Why would we want to sell land, green space that we have now? I don't understand that. If we hadn't bought the pier, you see what would have happened. There's a house going up on the campground. We missed the biggest opportunity not buying that campground. But we caught so much slack approach of buying that pier. We let that campground go. It could have been recreational use. We would have had income coming in from camper. Where can you go and camp oceanfront? We lost the hugest opportunity of that. Now there's a huge house
Thank you,
there.
Ms. Dyer. Thank you. I'm so sorry. We gotta keep it. All right, up next is Tom Myers. In your opinion, in what ways is the Board of Commissioners a good or not good steward of Holden Beach?
I wish we would do more to encourage recycling. It seems very difficult to get in the program. We got dropped out of it accidentally to get back in. I wish there was recycling on the beach strand. We live next to a walkway that's got a trash can. In the summer, I go out there and look, it's all recyclable. It's plastic, it's aluminum, it's stuff that should be going in recycling and not going into the landfill. I wish we would look more at new technologies for how do we deal with stormwater flooding? Can we do infiltration or some of these new things that will help address these problems? Same with the marshes. Let's not just put bulkheads up. Can we put up living shorelines? Can we do things that are more ecologically sensitive versus the way we've always done it in the past? And I'm not going to repeat what else is happening. I agree with most of the other comments.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. And finally, for this question, Rick McIntyre, what should the commission do to protect the environment?
Well, I agree with most of the comments as it relates to the beach renourishment programs, the CO's program, particularly down the East End. I visited this island several years back when the East End was not a pretty sight, and it's so much better today. I got to do a little bit of new learning a few weeks ago as the discussion of Lockwood Folly inlet was going on, and that had to do with the effect of the salt water flowing back up into the rivers and in both at Holden and Lockwood, and the condition of the estuaries as a result of that salt water not being able to flow back into those rivers. That was out of my area of expertise. I really enjoyed that learning. And the importance of opening Lockwood Folly was just all that more important. These long-range studies, wastewater, fresh water, they've got to be done. That's our future. So I encourage those reports to continue, and let's see where they go.
Thank you, Mr. McIntyre. All right, up next, we're going to discuss Board of Commissioners meeting. Show of hands who's attended one, online or in person. All right, that's a lot of you. So this might be of interest to you then. I wanted to ask y'all, what do you think of the public comment rules that the Board of Commissioners currently use? Are you into them, not into them, why or why not? And we'll start with Ms. Thomas.
I feel like right now you get up and you give your comment and there's no interaction with the commissioners, and that's unfortunate because I want to understand if they've heard me and what their reaction is, and if they agree or if they're gonna do anything about it. Right now, we all get up and we give our comments and there's, depth silence on the other side. Then they go through their whole meeting, then we give our comments. And did they hear us? Probably not, because they did exactly what we asked them not to do. That's what they voted on, what we said, please don't do. So there needs to be changes. I don't know what the right answer is, but I think there needs to be opportunity for there to be give and take between the commissioners and the taxpayers. And I was, if I'm a commissioner, I really want to understand what you want, what you need, what you're thinking, so that we can better represent you and what your priorities are.
Awesome, thank you, Ms. Thomas. All right, up next is Paige Dyer. What do you think of the public comment rules?
Well, I think we follow a guideline for the way meetings are held. There was some, changes made by some previous board members, but we did vote to carry on those rules of meeting. So the meeting has to be carried out in an orderly manner, and the mayor is the one that sets those rules. So the way the public comments are, the first set of public comments is for anything on the agenda. So you can come and you talk about anything that's on the agenda. And then at the end of the meeting, the public comments for that section is for you to talk about anything you want to talk about. And I want to say, it's not falling on deaf ears. We cannot make a comment that's not allowed in the rules of the meeting. I invite anyone to see, we have paper back there. I do take notes. I write down the names, the addresses of everyone. I take it in the comment. We may not always be able to respond to everyone, but it is taken into consideration. I have notes, I have piles of things. We are listening, I'm writing things down, so that's an orderly manner to keep the meeting. The meeting will last till God knows when, and every comment was answered, but they are listened to, and that's why we have it in place in the meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Dyer. All right, up next is Maria Surprise. What do you think of the public comment rules?
Well, I'm glad we have public comment at our board of commissioners meetings. I've taken the opportunity to speak at them, and I encourage all of you, if you have an issue, you should come and speak at the meetings. There's a specific agenda item. What I would like to see happen in the future is I would really like the commissioners in the town to be able to beef up the public materials that everybody gets when they come into a board of commissioners meeting, because that can help them understand what the issues are and make them, you know, and I think the problem is that a lot of times people, they know the meeting's coming, but they might not have all the information. I would love to see if there is a way that the commissioners, if they had something that they really wanted to put comment for, that we could meet at a separate time in a more inclusive environment and get everybody's input. And then we have the meeting more streamlined. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Surprise. All right, up next is Rick Parthis. What do you think of the public comment rule?
That's a good question. I think the comment periods are a little too short. It's kind of like speed dating to get your whole spiel out in 3 minutes. I would like to see more dialogue between the homeowners and the commissioners. If it's against the rules, well, we should try to change the rules unless there's a civil penalty for getting out of bounds on them. The other alternative is perhaps we should hold meetings specifically for discussion purposes. I know meetings need to be announced, but you could list 4 or 5 topics and say, this is not a meeting for board action, but it's one for interaction. That way we can have a dialogue. We can hear some of the stuff, you know, like if the board does something that I don't like, I'd like to have it justified to me. It might make sense. At least then, even if I still don't like it, I don't know what the methodology was.
Thank you, Mr. Parvis. All right, up next, we'll hear from Tom Myers. Tom, what do you think of the public comment rules?
I agree with Rick, I agree with Maria. You know, it'd be nice to have information sessions, no action taken, let's just talk about it. And it really depends on the complexity of these issues. Because a lot of these are very complex issues. You want to try to communicate a lot across. 3 minutes is nowhere near enough to express your point of view. And I know with parking, we got 200 and some letters, people poured their heart out in terms of their opinion about the paid parking and the letters. So issues like that, they need to have a complete other dialogue and have a lot of give and take, a lot of action before any decisions, before things are really done. So, you know, that's the complex side. The simple stuff, yeah, I mean, if you just want to weigh in, I agree, disagree, or make a comment, 3 minutes probably works. But forcing everybody into 3 minutes, especially on these very complex issues, and you know a vote's coming, it's just not working.
Thank you, sir. Up next, we'll hear from Sylvia Pate. Ms. Pate, what do you think of public comment?
Well, I appreciate the fact that there is public comments. Normally, I think the agendas and the materials for the meetings are posted on the town's website, I think on Thursday before the meeting. But of course, unfortunately, everybody doesn't have the opportunity to look at that. I think one of the areas that we're kind of weak in, we have property owners that are not full-time owners. And the part-time owners, I think, sometimes feel like they really get totally left out, because one, they don't get to vote, but they pay the same taxes that we do. And I would like to see some sort of system develop where they can have an interaction with meetings, because they can't be here at 5 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon to be in a meeting when they live somewhere else, let's face it. So I would like to see something done about that. The online Facebook Live of the meeting came about because of COVID. I mean, before that, you had to go to the meeting if you heard it, but as well as I do, you can't hear the meetings unless you just bring your ear. The first priority, if I get elected, is we're gonna have a system at the town that everybody can hear. That would be my first. And I would like to see some way that the maybe folks can interact, not from a distance as well, through that system.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, next up is Rick McIntyre. What do you think of public comment, sir?
I spent my entire career running public meetings. And the meetings at Holden Beach comply with the generally accepted methodology for running public meetings of a government or a school agency. The public comment section is a valuable portion of any public meeting. It gives the public the opportunity to at least express some ideas and attitudes that haven't been previously expressed. Now, in the world I came from, what happens then quite often is a work session. That's along the lines of what some of these fellows are talking about, which is an informal opportunity to discuss the issues that maybe were brought up in the public comments session. No votes are taken, no votes are allowed, but the commissioners can talk and work out the information there and bring it back to an agenda item at a later time.
Thank you, Mr. McIntyre. All right, up next is Mr. Murdoch. Mr. Murdoch, public comment.
I think we have very structured meetings at Holden Beach. I think we give everybody the 3 minutes at the beginning of the meeting if it's an agenda item to talk. And there's time at the end of the meetings that we also let people talk. It's ironic, I'm sitting here looking at a clock at a meeting. I think if we didn't have time set, we wouldn't get out of there with some of these issues. We wouldn't need to set a special meeting to interact with the public. However, I will say this from being on the board for 4 years, that my phone number is on the website, my email is on the website, and I've done the best job I possibly can as getting back to everybody with everybody that's emailed me in. So I don't think that any of us that are serving on that board have been unavailable, and we all do listen, although our opinions may not be the same.
All right, thank you so much. Finally, we have Mr. Bauer. Mr. Bauer, what are your thoughts on public comment?
Thank you. You're talking about the head of a particularly long and ugly stick. The biggest problem that we have here is that there is absolutely no public input other than the actual meetings themselves. If the team is elected, or I'm elected, what I'm gonna say is your first water bill. We're gonna do something like exactly what the Holden Beach property owners are saying. We're gonna be a website. I'm gonna ask, what do you want? How do you want it? When do you want it? And then we're gonna get everybody together and we're gonna go through all this information, and then we're gonna sift it, because politics here is all about emergencies and it's gotta be done immediately. Politics should grind slow and fine. And then when we have everybody's input, then it gets raised to a meeting, or we meet here, on another day that isn't the meeting, and then we finally figure it out. And then once we find out what you want, then we go and then we vote on it. And if it's over a certain dollar amount, then it should have to go to the vote. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Something I love about working with politicians is they use such a Boston language. Thank you. All right.
I'm not a politician, I'm just angry. I'm angry, that's all I am.
We can never.
All right, y'all, let's move on to the next question. This is a very popular topic with all of our constituents and also the folks sitting on this forum tonight, infrastructure. We've heard a little bit about frustrations regarding the pier, frustrations regarding parking. I want to give y'all an opportunity to discuss it in depth. So we'll go ahead and start with Mr. Purvis. You have 60 seconds.
Thank you. Our critical infrastructure being roads, water, sewer, and I would say the beach, because that's why we're all here, and I say the canals, which is important to about 30% of us, need to be prioritized over non-essential projects. Not that non-essential projects are not good and that they shouldn't be done, but we need to get the critical stuff done first. We need this stuff so we can live in our houses. All these critical systems I mentioned need a life cycle plan. So 15 years down the road, you're gonna have to rehab pump station number 4. Wet wells don't last forever. Certain types of pipes don't last forever, although I don't think ours is that old that that's a concern. Beach renourishments should be planned and also some allowance for contingency for storm damage. Unexpected storm damage should be made.
Thank you, Mr. Purvis. Next up, we have Tom Meyer. Mr. Meyer, what do you think of the infrastructure here?
You can repeat the full question.
Sure, yeah, we're just having a broad discussion about things like the pier, parking, what parts of the infrastructure do you think can work and do you think is doing well?
The pier and parking in 60 seconds. Parking, it's a necessary evil, brings in revenue. I'm in favor of it. I'm in favor of expanding it because our tourist season seems to expand. I'm in favor of giving free passes to residents because they pay for the parking lots. They pay property tax on the vehicle to register here. So that's parking. The pier, we own it. We're gonna own it for perpetuity. Nobody knows how much it's gonna cost. Nobody has a real clear plan of what's involved. We've got to figure out what we're getting ourselves into, and then we've got to present to the public and get some real public engagement. If you believe it's worth it, or what do we do? And that needs to go that way. Sewer system is complex. We really need to get to the root cause of what is the risk. Is it a washover? Is it the equipment failing? What is it? And until we get to the root cause, we don't really know what the solution is going to be. It might be as simple as putting a copper dam around it to keep it from flooding. I did it with 2 seconds to spare.
You did?
Right on.
All right, up next, we're going to hear from Maria Surprise. Ms. Surprise, what do you think of the infrastructure here?
Well, generally, I think the infrastructure is really good. Now, that said, we have to keep maintaining it, and there's a big project, a big sewer lift station project that we've got to do. And I know there's money coming in, hopefully, we've got, the state has passed the budget finally, and we've got a grant that we're waiting for other things to happen. So, but that needs to be done, because if we don't have a working sewer system, then nobody can live in our house. Doesn't matter, you just have to have that. And so I would, if I'm elected, I would make sure that we, like Rick said, focus on our core things that the town is supposed to do for its people. The utilities, the infrastructure, the parking, safety, everything. Before we look at kind of the nicer to have projects, because we have to make sure that our infrastructure is sound.
All right, up next, we have Ms. Dyer. Ms. Dyer, what do you think of the infrastructure here? What needs improvement?
So a good example of prioritizing, the last couple of years, parking was prioritized, about 2 years ago. We spent many nights and meetings up to 4 hours talking about that. The East End was unorganized. People were parking all over people's property. We got that straight. It's still a work in progress. We still have things to work. It's been working pretty well. We've got some revenue for it, but we've also prioritized, we bought the pier. But a good example of prioritizing was we looked at the building and the pier, and we realized there's so much that needs to be done with the building. Our main thing right now, that we've discussed in the last couple of meetings, we need to get that pier open. We need to get it open, we need to get people on it, and we've pushed over the last couple of meetings to get that done. We had a bid process. Unfortunately, we didn't get any bids. We're still working on that. The company that's building that was the pier in Nags Head. Has a beautiful pier. Block Q, I think we need to keep part of that green. We need a park like they have in Ocean Isle. We need a place to have music. We need to have places for people to sit. ADA compliance, that was something we didn't expect, but it was something that needs to be done. Everybody should enjoy the beach. And we've been working hard to get ADA compliant. And I think we've done a pretty good job of doing that this year.
Thank you, Ms. Dyer. Let's stay over on this side of the table. Mr. McIntyre, it's your turn. What do you think of the instruction here?
Couple of ideas, or a lot of them, a couple of ideas. First, the sewer station in Greensboro, that thing needs to be raised. There's no doubt about it. There's no question about it, just a matter of when. And I think we're getting very close to having funding in line to do that. And we certainly do not want to be in a position where we have any number of residents or visitors on this island that don't have service in the sewer. So that needs to be done very quickly. Paige mentioned the ADA and Block Q. Part of the discussion with Block Q are moving those bathrooms. The bathrooms that we got up under the bridge are not ADA compliant. They're very old. They're barely functional. And they need to be moved across the street to Block Q. Decent restroom facilities that are well ventilated, have water, and are ADA compliant, which the old ones can't be made. Those are my two big things.
Thank you, sir. Right on time. All right, up next, we'll hear from Brian Murdoch. Mr. Murdoch, you have 60 seconds.
Infrastructure is a problem for the whole country, for everybody, for every city, every town, everybody across the globe. Parts of our infrastructure, Holden Beach, as you well know, are in bad disrepair. We're working diligently to try to correct some of the problems that we didn't know were problems. That's part of the budget amendments people were complaining about. But it has to be done. This work that can't be overlooked, can't be put off, can't be kicked down the road. You guys want to go home, we gotta fix a lift station that somebody put in the ground 20 years ago. It wasn't our idea to put it in the ground, it should have all been lifted up to start. So that's just poor planning. I had an opinion. But we have to get all these corrected. I agree with Rick 100% that we have to prioritize what we do. And it has to be that kind of plan to get it done.
Thank you, Mr. Murdoch. Up next, we have Jim Bauer. Mr. Bauer, infrastructure.
The way that this town has gone about infrastructure, looking at the way that it does, is all wrong. I'm gonna give you the water tower. I'm gonna, hold on for a second. I'm gonna give you the water tower, and I'm gonna give you the sewer. Water tower, we need a new water tower. Who wants a water tower right next to their house? Raise your hand. Not in my backyard, right? It's not gonna happen. So in a meeting a couple of months ago, as an ex-fireman, as somebody that as an ex-plumber, why don't we just make the pipes bigger going to the west end? That would increase flow, increase volume for the exact same amount of pressure. Falling on deaf ears, unfortunately. The lift station, whoever did put in the lift station should lose their license, absolutely. But instead of building a whole new lift station, the equipment in the lift station could just be lifted up above the high water mark. And the sewer, there are dead end sewer lines, because there are 4 lift stations. Each dead end sewer line could just be connected up to each other, so that if one sewer line goes up, the other 3 can pick up the slack. And so instead of spending millions and millions and millions, we're probably spending 8 million. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer. All right, up next, we have Sylvia Tate. Ms. Tate, you have 60 seconds.
Well, I agree with most everybody historic. Obviously, we have to provide the basics when it comes to water and electricity and those type of things. And I agree that the sewer lift station, definitely has to be upgraded. And I'm pleased that we are going to get the funds to help us get that done, but that should be priority 1. As far as the Block Q, I'm not really favoring that becoming a parking lot. I think there is the need to have some additional vehicle parking for collectors, because we don't have enough parking spots over there for that. I do support that, and I do agree with Mr. McIntyre. The bathrooms have to be moved from where they're at currently, because they're not even situated on property that we totally own. So they have to be moved, and that's my understanding anyway. As far as the pier project is concerned, I'm supportive of that. I think we have to do it in stages. We have to do it incrementally. We can't do it all at one time.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, finally, for this question, we'll hear from Tracy Thomas. You have 60 seconds. Thank you.
Obviously, infrastructure is important to everyone on the beach, but I think we need some long-term plans in place so that we can do them in a systematic way that makes sense. I feel like the board right now is running around saying, oh, we need bids for the pier, oh, we need bids for block two, oh, we need bids for the sewer station. And then we need $5 million to do this, let's go get a loan. And then the next thing you know, it's not even on the agenda the next month. I don't see any long-term plans for a lot of this stuff. Yes, we need water, we need sewer, we need electric, and we need sand. Those are our 4 important things. And we need to sit down and map out a long-term plan on what's important. I disagree. I don't think the pier needs to be open. I mean, the pier can sit there while we do some of the other things that are more important. And I think we need a lot more information on a lot of these things, how we can fix the sewer. I've heard a lot of different ideas that may be more viable than spending $4.7 million. Which is what the plan is right now.
All right, thank you, Ms. Thomas. All right, well, it looks like we're doing pretty good on time, so I have one more question before we move on to closing statements. We talked about a lot of different things tonight, infrastructure, public comment, to, I don't know, lots of vocabulary words. But I wanted to ask y'all, what issue, about the issues that haven't been brought up yet? What's something that you want people to know about that you haven't yet discussed? And we will go ahead and start with Tracy Thomas.
I mean, I think we covered a lot of stuff. The pillars for what I'm running on is fiscal responsibility. I think that the budget needs to be looked at. I think they're doing a poor job of managing our taxpayers' money right now. The other one is transparency. I think that we need to have more input from the taxpayers. We need to understand what's important to you. We need to prioritize what is important to you instead of what might be important to other constituents that don't pay taxes. And the last thing is infrastructure. I mean, we talked about all those things, and those were my 3 pillars that I'm concerned about. And I think all of you probably have the same concerns, and if you don't, I'd like to hear about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. All right, up next is Mr. Murdoch. Mr. Murdoch, what's something we haven't discussed tonight that you want to bring up?
Many times. I think the biggest thing is, obviously the budget and the problems and the issues that we're facing daily on a daily basis to try to accommodate everybody. This person will want something, that person wants something, this organization needs this, and this organization needs that. Infrastructure, pavilions, we just need to do so many things. Block Q's don't think anybody said it was ever going to become a big parking lot. I think we're moving into it slowly. It's probably being tabled right now because of the budget. But we take things day by day when we're up there, and we face problems as they come. And unfortunately, time after time after time again, it is an emergency to see.
Thank you, sir. All right, up next is Mr. Bauer. Mr. Bauer, what's something we haven't covered tonight?
We've been pretty good on everything, but I just want to get back to the fact that there's been absolutely no transparency whatsoever with the current board, with the current government. You walk into a meeting, they put a new thing on the agenda. I was there personally. I was one of the 6 people that was in the meeting when they decided to pass the $500,000 grant for the $3.3 million pier. I think there were 7 people there. The item was added to the agenda at the beginning of the meeting. If it wasn't, there would have been a tremendous amount of people there and they would have heard about it. Government should grind slow and fine, and we need to get all you involved. And if you have a specialty, we were talking about the increase in tax rate. One guy got up and he said, well, I don't understand it, but what do I know? I only have a doctorate in finance, you know? So we got to involve everybody. There were so many smart people at this island. We're not talking to a war we're ignoring it. The end. It's bad.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer. Up next, we have Ms. Sylvia Pate. Ms. Pate, what's something we haven't covered yet that you would like to discuss?
Well, there's several references about the particle grant that we received for the pier, and I think there's maybe a little bit of confusion about that. And I'm certainly not supportive of giving that grant back. We received $500,000, which was a land acquisition grant to help defer the cost that we borrowed to pay for that grant. And it does stipulate in the contract that that property has to be used for recreation purposes in perpetuity. I had some consternation about that initially. But as time sort of evolved, I kind of feel a little bit better about that. Because on the one hand, we know it's only gonna be used for that purpose, and that means nobody can change that. So maybe that's a good idea. I think if you start giving grants back, you won't get those resources again from that funding source. I'm alluding to a little bit about strategic planning. I do think that's one of the important things that we need to do is to wrap our arms around everything that's going on, because there's a lot of projects that we have going on currently. And I think we need to do that more, I'm much more strategic approach. And Block Q, I think if I said it was gonna be a parking lot, I didn't mean to say that. I just said I don't want it to become just a parking lot.
Ma'am, I think that's about all.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I feel so bad, y'all. I'm sorry. I love listening to you. Okay, up next we have Maria Surprise. Tell us something that we haven't covered yet.
We've covered a lot, and we talked a lot about the budget, and we talked about a lot of the finances. One of the things Tom Myers mentioned earlier is about financial reporting. I don't think we talked enough about financial reporting. A lot of times, you know, that when I try to familiarize myself with what the budget in the town and how they'll do their financial reporting, you know, I spent a whole half a day with a team of people trying to go through and understand it. And then I spent another 2 hours with some of the candidates here going through the financial reporting and trying to understand it. I think it would be a great service for the town to be able to provide financial reports that show where we are year to date according to the budget, what specific projects are, what phase are they in, how much have we spent, how much still has to go, just basic financial information so that the townspeople can make the decisions and help steer the growth of our country, for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Surprise. Up next, we have Rick McIntyre. Mr. McIntyre, you have 60 seconds.
One of the things that was mentioned in passing had to do with parking privileges for property owners and residents. I do support that, and I've got a thing in the back of my mind to present when the time is right. But I think that's important for our folks here on the island. I want to make it clear, I do support the pier property refurbishment project. I'm for that. I think it's important for the island to have that available for recreation for our visitors and residents alike. Regardless of anything else, this is what I think you need to keep in mind between now and November 7th. Whoever you put in office of any of these people, they're all fine people. Do you have confidence in those individuals to represent you day in and day out to the very best of their ability? That's going to be important for the next 4 years down the road. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, up next is Rick Parfus. Mr. Parfus, what's something we haven't covered yet?
I think we have covered this, but I don't know if it's been emphasized enough. We really need life cycle plans for a lot of this stuff. And then those particular needs need to be prioritized within the particular asset and then against the other assets. That way you can rack and stack all the things you have to do for the next 15 years and face it against your budget. As I mentioned before about non-essential projects, some could be deferred until we pay off some of our debt service. And I think it's 2028 thereabouts. We're going to free up $1.4 million in debt payments. So things could be faced against that. The other thing I think that's vital is we all need to participate in what's going on here. This device right here will allow people in Charlotte to be in this meeting and speak in this meeting. We need to have that kind of stuff and everybody needs to get involved. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, up next is Tom Myers. Mr. Myers, you have 60 seconds.
Thank you. I think a lot of it's been touched on. I think in the mayoral debate, we talked about transparency and openness and just how the town works with its residents, because I think there's a lot of improvement that can be made there. A lot of times residents feel like they're not heard, they don't even want to be heard, nobody listens to them. They feel like they've been treated disrespectfully in many cases and get quite enraged. So, you know, ideally, we work together better, the town, the residents, you have sessions, you coordinate, you share information. There's a lot of information that's just not shared. Very difficult to find. It almost feels like the town is paternalistic of, you know, we'll take care of this for you. You don't need to worry about it, and we don't need to tell you anything. And I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done in that area. Not sure if it's all been discussed, but I think that's something that would be a good topic.
Thank you, sir. All right, and finally, we'll hear from Paige Dyer. Ms. Dyer, what's something we haven't discussed yet?
Well, I want to touch on what Mr. Markentop said. Bottom line is you need to feel like that you putting somebody in office that you can count on to do what you'd like to see done, move forward with positive movement and prioritize things that we say in the meeting. They're not always set in stone. We have public hearings. So what might have been taking place at a public hearing or was heard, we may have to take a vote at a different meeting. So the most of the discussion was made at a public hearing. But the next meeting when the vote was taken, there might not have been much interest because people already said that they want to have the public hearing. I don't feel like that we've not been transparent. I don't think anybody on the board has been unavailable to anyone. I know I've talked to several people numerous times. The negativity, I don't know, we need to all work together as a town. The negativity of we're doing a horrible job. This is a hard job. I'd love to make everybody in the island happy, but you can't, you have to come to a compromise. We listen to the opinions, but the negativity is certainly not going to move the town forward.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, final round. How are we doing, y'all? Ready? Are y'all ready? All right, awesome. So as a reminder, you have 90 seconds to give your closing statement. You can use this time to rebut the candidate or just discuss your high points, low points, anything, any note that you want your constituents to leave on. We will go in reverse alphabetical order to give everyone a chance, like a fair chance, I guess, which means we'll start with Ms. Tracy Thomas. Ms. Thomas, you have 90 seconds.
So I started with, reason I'm running for Holden Beach Commissioner is because I'm very concerned about the finances. I don't believe that we can continue to increase our debt, decrease our savings, and we need, that's not the sustainable model. We need to have better long-term planning. I have no conflict of interest. I have no hidden agenda. I'm retired, so I have the time to put into this. I'm a permanent resident on the island. I care about what all of you think, and I want to hear what your opinions are, and I want to change the meeting so that we can have more input from the taxpayer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. All right, Ms. Surprise, your turn, 90 seconds.
Okay. Well, first I want to say thank you so much to everybody that came out today. This is a tremendous turnout, and I know we've got more people online. Thank you for our fabulous moderator. Thank you to the League of Women Voters. Thank you to the candidates and the incumbents for showing up. This is what it's all about. This is local government at its best. I said before the beginning that I believe Holden Beach deserves a more open, inclusive, and collaborative board of commissioners. If you also agree that Holden Beach deserves a more transparent board and a board of commissioners that is going to put the needs of the people first, then I humbly ask you to vote for me on September 7th or early voting at the local government at the political center. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Surprise. All right, let's move right on to Mr. Carpus. Mr. Carpus, you have 90 seconds.
Thank you. I do want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I think it's been a good discussion overall. I would like to get your vote because I want to be on the board of commissioners that serves you and doesn't impose its will on you. I have a pretty good skill set in civil works that I think I can apply to help the town really deliver the things that are needed, the things that you need as a priority. After all, it's your money, be it fee park tax or real estate tax or whatever, and you should get a vote on how we spend it. I'm retired. I'm here full time. I have a lot of time to devote to being your commissioner. I don't have any other jobs or financial interests to distract me. My sole goal is to make sure our tax dollars are spent wisely and our taxes are kept at a minimum level. I appreciate everybody coming out. I hope this has been informative for you and helps you make your decision in November. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Carpus. All right, we'll move on to Sylvia Pate. Ms. Pate, you have 90 seconds.
I think I mentioned in my opening comments that I had retired from the University of North Carolina, Pembroke, but I'm not currently retired. I decided to do another career, and I'm currently a realtor, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not retired, and I don't think you have to be retired to be a commissioner. I'm not planning on spending all my time at the town hall. I do have the time to commit to this. I would promise you, if you elect me, I will do the work that needs to be done. I'll do the research. I'll be prepared when I get to the meeting. And I think that's important, but I don't think I have to be retired in order to do that. I just think somebody alludes to the negativity. I think there's just so much negativity going on. I tend to be a positive person, and I think in any situation, there's got to be some positive in it. And I kind of look at that way. I said earlier, I don't think the sky's falling, and I don't think the sky's falling. I love Holden Beach. I mean, when I think about that bridge, it's like, how fortunate are we to live here? We have a beautiful place, and everybody wants to come here because it's so nice. But we have to, we do have to wrap our arms around some planning and get some things going in the right direction, I think, and do some prioritization and some focus. But I would, if you feel like I'm the best suited person for the job, I would want to be on each late for me on November the 7th. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Page. All right, next up is Tom Myers. Mr. Myers, what's your closing statement?
Thank you. I tried to communicate as best I can where I stand on all positions. There's an awful lot more I can share, but I can't do that in 90 seconds. So please reach out, or I'm trying to post out as best I can to communicate all that. I do think that this could be a pivotal election for Holden Beach because we could change directions. You're the key, you're the voters, you get to decide. Please do that. Please send us correction. Please tell us what you want. And you have the power. So please vote. I would appreciate the vote, but I think it's most important to just vote and make your opinions known, make your vote count. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. Next up is Brian Murdoch. Mr. Murdoch, you have 90 seconds.
I have thoroughly enjoyed representing this town. I think, we've made some really good headway in making this a better place. I know a lot of people don't agree with that statement. I sit up here with my heart and try to picture Holden Beach, not only for myself, because I live here, I think it's great. I make a living here. I've been here a long, long time. My good old buddy got me out of bed to do this job, and I've actually enjoyed representing the town. But this beach does not belong to me. It doesn't belong to anybody sitting out there. We live here. We have to consider the community. We have to consider the visitors. Occupancy tax brings in $4 million a year. Parking funds the things that you say we carelessly purchase. I've heard some stuff that scares the daylights out of me, like teens. Sell town property, make all of this available for everybody, not just the residents here, but for everybody that wants to come here. It could be a pivotal election, as Tom said, but I don't want my town, Holden Beach, to go away. It's being built on. Everybody had the chance to buy every lot on the island and didn't do it. You had a chance to buy your view if you want to keep it, but growth is here.
Thank you, sir. Up next is Rick McIntyre. Mr. McIntyre, you have 90 seconds.
I got into the pursuit of this seat quite simply because of my training and experience and the hope that some of those skills would dovetail pretty nicely with the duties and responsibilities of a town commissioner at Holden Beach. I learned a long time ago, don't make promises in this type of environment, because somewhere down the road, you might not be able to keep it. I will commit to these 3 principles with you. I will study intently every issue that comes before the Board of Commissioners. When necessary, I'll seek additional information so that I can more thoroughly understand the question at hand. And finally, my vote will always represent what I believe will be in the best interest of the residents and property owners of Holden Beach. If you agree that those skill sets and those principles are important to our community, then I would simply ask for your support on November the 7th and the opportunity to work with whatever commissioners are elected to move this community forward and do our very best to make this a wonderful place that we all want it to be. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Up next is Ms. Paige Dyer. Ms. Dyer, what are your parting thoughts?
So we talked a lot about planning and the idea that the, current board is not doing any planning. Parking was a project that was 10, 15 years in the making. And we finally got that underway, and now every beach on the East Coast in Brunswick County is doing paid parking. They waited for us to do it, saw what we went through and how we did it. But that was working for 10 years. The pumping station, the Greensboro pumping station, that was brought about 4 years ago. And unfortunately, they decided, well, maybe prices might come down. Unfortunately, they tripled. So that we planned that after it could have been fixed several years ago, and now we know it's got to fix. There's sewage at every hurricane going into the marsh. King high tide was flooding the marsh. Streets that weren't covered during a king high tide. It used to just be the night of the king high tide. Scotch Bonnet and Marlin Street and Tarpon Street, those are getting flooded with a full moon. There's water coming out of the lot next to our house. It's going in front of our trash can. So, having a sewer station below sea level is absolutely ridiculous, and it should have been fixed 4 or 5 years ago, and we're planning to fix it. We're moving ahead with that. So I don't know, we can't fix everything at one time, but I think we're doing a good job of planning things and moving forward. Or, instead of staying stagnant and not doing anything. We can't make everyone happy, but I've worked for 2 years. I went and filled a seat that was empty. I went at 11:30 to file it for something that closed at 12, and I've worked hard. I'm not retired, but I feel like I put plenty of work into it, and I get to go into people's homes and talk to a lot of the homeowners.
Thank you, Ms. Dyer. Thank you. All right, last but not least, we'll hear from Mr. Bauer. Mr. Bauer, you have 90 seconds.
Well, you've heard from us all. How do you think the Board of Commissioners has done the last 4 years? Do you want more of the same? You want to be led down the same aimless path, or do you want people to make real world changes on how this town works? Perhaps I made a positive impression. Perhaps you'll vote for me. If not, I'd like to ask a favor. Don't vote for me. But please don't vote for the incumbents, or don't vote for any of the shills, vote the puppeteers that are working this town to against our advantage. If you like what I said today, it's not because they were all, that I was operating in a vacuum and these were all my ideas. I was just one of the first people that got to answer the question. Please, if you can consider, please vote for, if not for me, or with me. Please vote for Tracy Thomas, Maria Surprise, Tom Meyer, Rick Parvis, and hopefully soon to be Mayor myself. They have the education, they have the experience, they have the desire, and they have the drive for the best future of this perfect place. We are transparency, integrity, responsibility, and servant leadership. You don't work for me, I work for you. And please, because I'm already crunching no plastic signs for me, Jim Bauer, for Holden Beach Commission in 2023 on Facebook. Thank you very much. I hope this all works out, and maybe even if we don't win, hopefully we'll push it in the right direction. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer. Let's give him a hand, y'all. Okay, thank you so much, y'all. I just want to say on behalf of WHUR Public Radio, thank you so much for coming out and doing far and beyond civic duty. Feel free to tune in, listen to our coverage of the Brunswick County elections, and hopefully the elections coming up here. Barbara, if you have anything to add?
I want to thank our moderator.
Go.